Y'all, happy Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Um, this is Widowed, a Shitstorm. And I think I'm going to call this one episode 4. It would help if I wrote these things down. And let's call this one It's Okay to Be Traumatized. Yeah. So I just left an appointment with my doctor. This is the I forget what her actual title is, but she's in the psychiatry department at my doctor's office, whatever. I really like her. She's a runner like me, so we have so much in common, except I'm the traumatized one and she's the doctor. But anyway, I really like this one. But I had PTSD. She was the one who diagnosed me in January. Basically anybody who had, like, if you had seen me, you just would have known, oh, she's clearly got PTSD. I mean, it was not news to anyone. It had been really, at that point, like a year of symptoms that were pretty frustrating. I definitely didn't have it early on after Mark's suicide. I had a pretty decently long period of denial. Yeah, PTSD is super common for people who are survivors of suicide loss. So post-traumatic stress disorder is actually very physical, and every time I see this woman, I'm reminded of that. I haven't seen her in months because I'm me and I like to do things on my own, but she just, every time I go in, she explains something that makes so much sense to me. So the reason I had not been going in to see her for a while was, well, first of all, when I got diagnosed, one of the things that she kind of let me choose what sounded good, and one of the things that they offer at the clinic is meditation. Sorry, that was my finger in the way. Because the main thing with PTSD is, like, your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous systems are not in sync. So basically, you go in, you're constantly on edge. You're in fight, flight, or now they say fight, flight, or freeze mode all the time, or more often than you really should be, even when nothing's going on, like when you're sitting at your desk at work. But basically, it's like your mind and your body, they're not on the same level, so you won't know when you're not in an emergency. I was going to say something else about that. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. Oh yeah. So anyway, so I was going to meditation because she said one of the main things is with meditation, it's getting your body and your mind back in sync. I really liked it. I went to a few sessions, but at the time I started going to meditation was at the time I started doing some other things that I had just put back in my schedule. So I do some, I guess it's like volunteer work, but I was assisting on a program and I was supporting with production, and I really liked the particular, like, agreement that I had regarding the volunteering, because it was pretty low-key. It was kind of in the back of the room. I was doing it with people that I really loved. It was basically one night a week, and it had me start to be around people again. So I was doing that. It was for a couple of months, and it was awesome. It fulfilled on what I wanted to, but one of the things I had to deal with was that I apparently get exhausted after doing anything. So I would go and I would assist once a week, and then I'd be so tired the next day. I would sleep through my alarm. I would be late for work. I couldn't schedule anything else. So then I was like, well, I have that on Wednesday nights, so I can't do anything else. So I stopped going to meditation. I mean, because I just couldn't handle work and something on Wednesdays and meditation one other night. So if that makes no sense, don't worry, because nothing makes sense ever. I'm rambling. I'm assuming that you know my whole thought process and my background all the time. Yeah. So anyway, what I discovered was I can handle one thing at a time. That seems to be what I can do. That's why I cancel plans a lot. I'll often think that, and this is not really an excuse, I've canceled plans on a lot of people, but it'll truly be like, I'll think I'll be okay, and then I won't even know what it is that'll, I tend to not use the word trigger, because one of my biggest triggers is the word trigger, because my husband shot himself. I hate that word. I just said it 3 times. I don't ever want to say it again. But one of the things that really reactivates me is that word. So anytime anything really kind of gets me on edge, maybe I won't sleep, for example, and then I'll end up not sleeping well for a few nights, and then I'll think, okay, I need to like take it easy. So I'll take it easy for a few days. The next week I'll sleep like a baby for an entire week, and I think, I'm fine, I'm good. So, then I stop doing things like meditation, or I stop taking care of myself and doing all the stuff that I know to do. I lost my train of thought again. This is also what being widowed is like, and being traumatized. The point is, it's been really bad lately, and my PTSD symptoms have been like ridiculous. So one of the things that happens is I twitch a lot, so I like will physically twitch. I actually feel really okay right now because I just had a session with her, and I worked from home today. I finally got some sleep last night. I did not sleep all the other night because I had nightmares. I don't even really know what they were about. That's another thing, is you don't even, and she just explained it really well to me. It was, I can talk about a lot of things, but when you're talking about it, you're not really experiencing it. But then when I'm like experiencing something, usually my dreams, so it's usually at night, I can't talk about it. It's like I can't do both at the same time. So it's like your body and your brain are just not in sync. Anyway, point is, symptoms have been crazy. And I knew it, and I really am all about like, it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to get help, and I want people to know it's okay to talk about mental health, and some people call it brain health, some people say mental illness, some people say mental wellness. I just think it's part of being human. Some of us are more prone to stuff like that than others. But if you live and you're a human being, you're going to have some stuff going on. So all the stuff that I have going on, I tell other people, like, it's okay to get help, and then I don't do it myself. So this week, really, things kind of came to a head, and I was like, I didn't sleep well. I'm an anxious, disastrous mess. Like, another way that I know I'm super anxious is I'm just not hungry, which is like impossible. Like, if you know me at all, I like to eat. Like, I haven't really eaten today. I just have no appetite. So I was like, okay, like, you need to go deal with this. So anyway, I called my doctor yesterday. Once I called, I told my roommates, my best friend Shayla, and I felt better immediately. Ended up having a pretty good day at work. So I had my appointment with her just now, filled her in on a lot of things, and actually was talking a lot about Mark and a lot of the experience, and like the day he died, and a lot of the stuff that actually happened, and just I felt totally reassured, like, oh, of course I have PTSD. I went through a very traumatic thing, and it's just getting everything kind of back in sync to be able to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep talking and talking and talking about it. She explained again that just because I'm able to talk about it doesn't, like, a lot of his like ideas and theories have been, do talk therapy, and talk therapy is essential, but it's not everything. So we came up with, I came in like, okay, we're gonna get a plan for this, and we're gonna get a plan for that. But then once I get in there and started talking, I was like, the thing is, I can handle one thing at a time, and that's it. And that's what, like, that was the whole appointment. It was like, oh, hey man, I'm not waving at you. This is the guy that just went by, thinks I'm talking to him and waving to him. He doesn't know that I'm talking to my camera, so that I can post this for YouTube, so that maybe 15 people can watch this. Yeah, so the whole appointment was like, I can handle one thing. And one of the things I found yesterday was, and that I've talked to her a lot about, was going to meditation, but I didn't really want to go to the meditation again. But I know yoga is very good for PTSD, and I have not wanted to go because I don't want to practice yoga. I just don't want to. But I Googled PTSD and yoga in San Diego, and I found a trauma-related yoga specifically for veterans, service members, and their families. And it's free, and I already am in touch with the person who does it. It's close to my house. It's once a week, and it's all like I was so relieved to find it. I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, I don't want to practice yoga. I just don't. I want to do yoga, but I'm just not a yogi. I'm so not. But this trauma-related yoga, with everyone's military in some aspect, I don't really know how it's different, but I know it will be different. And I have an actual plan. Doctor and I agreed I can do one thing. So the only thing I'm adding, and I'm not really adding anything else to my calendar right now, I actually need to take some things off my calendar, is I'm going to yoga once a week, and then in 4 weeks I come back for an appointment with her to check in on how that's going. So yeah, so I'm curious what other people do for PTSD, if you've tried yoga. I hope it's been a good experience, and if you haven't, maybe find one that's trauma related. I did ask her about some other types of therapy. I know EMDR is very helpful. I'm very curious about it. But I'm actually not really a candidate for it right now, because a big part of it apparently is the preparation and learning to calm down. So it's really perfect that I'm going to be going to yoga. Another reason that I'm saying this is because I am not reliable for doing things that I say I'm going to do. So I need some accountability. So if you happen to see this, and you're interested in following up with me, you should ask me, Maggie, how's the yoga going? Because I'm giving my word to going. It's Mondays at 4 p.m. It's pretty close to my house. Mondays at 4 p.m. I have to leave work at 3 p.m. to go to yoga. I'm doing yoga Mondays, 4 p.m. Hold me accountable. Ask me how it's going. I'll probably be posting about it anyway. And then if you ask me to do something and I go give you my word that I'm going to go do it, you should actually say, you know what, Maggie, I was going to ask you to do that, but I know that you kind of just aren't very reliable for handling more than one thing on your calendar. Again, not as an excuse, but like I really will like have an anxiety attack about things, and then I will just stay home and I will do nothing. So it's been really interesting to see how much I can handle before I go into panic mode, which really is not very much. I'm kind of okay with that. Or if I give you my word that I'm going to do something, you should really take it with a grain of salt, because I'm probably not going to, because I get exhausted. Like the other day I made all those cookies, and then I posted a photo this morning. I still have like half the cookies, because I'm all, oh yeah, I'll go deliver these. And then I got so overwhelmed by having to drive places, and like, it's just, me even saying this, like I'm someone who, I mean, I used to do a lot all the time. I'd be out of my house like 17, 18 hours a day, every day. I would do a million things. I'd get up and I'd run 5-6 miles before work, and then I'd go to work, and then I'd go do this, and I'd volunteer at that, and then I'd have 17 phone calls a day. And it's like the thought of me being overwhelmed by having one extra thing on my calendar a week is, to me, like I want to tell myself, like, suck it up, stop being ridiculous. You're just telling yourself you can't handle it. But I currently have a very long track record of not handling more than like 1, maybe 2 things in a week. So I'm just going to stick with it. That's where I'm at. And that anything I put on my calendar right now is for my own healing and all that stuff. So anyway, I hope this makes a difference for someone. If you have PTSD also, I'm curious to hear how it's going for you or what you're doing to deal with it. If you don't want to respond to anything, that's fine. I've been like getting messages from people. I love when other widows message me. I love when other, I mean, I really do hate it that you even have to message me, but if you're a suicide widow, if you've lost someone to suicide, I get it. It's freaking awful. But again, really out to have more people know that it's okay to be traumatized, and it's okay to have lived and been through things, and to have come out with some bumps and bruises, so to speak. So yeah, anybody who watches, thank you. Thanks for listening to me ramble. More news at 11, or not at 11, but next week when I do some yoga. Monday 4 p.m. so I will be posting Monday night. This is me giving my word. There will be a video posting about the yoga. So anyway, episode 4 of Widow to Shitstorm is complete. Rock on, everyone.